Welcome into the Mental Moments podcast with your guide, Healing Hottie. Mental Moments is where we walk through life experiences, yours and mine, finding the ingredients to make life sweeter. A conversation to consider our minds, bodies, and souls, moving with gratitude one step at a time. Do you believe you were meant to do life alone? I know I don't. Today, we're talking all about the importance of a good support system and what a good one looks like. Let's walk through this together. Welcome in. Welcome in. Do it. Welcome in. I am your host and guide, Healing Hottie. Mental Moments is a conversation, honey, and today we're talking all about good support system and what a strong, good, nourishing support system looks like. I love my family and friends deeply, and as the love for myself has grown over the years, naturally it's grown deeper for them as well. And not only has the love for them grown, but how I show up for them has grown. And seeing this growth within me, they sought to deepen their love and how they care and show up for me. And seeing all this reciprocity, okay, that's a big word for Elmo, reciprocity. It really got me thinking about what makes a good support system. The thing about people is that no one, and I do mean no one, not even me, no one has it all figured out. People grow and change. So what your parents gave you as a child has to shift and grow. Even in a healthy, if you had a great home growing up, it has to shift and change as you grow up and you become an adult in order to remain healthy and whole. And for them to truly remain as an active parent and a part of your life. Same with friends. Their commitment towards learning you and you learning them takes real time, takes real love, and it's truly a time investment. Same thing with romantic relationships. There are many things in life where we will experience something that requires more support, and you'll start to recognize that you'll feel like maybe somebody dropped the ball, but what I've come to understand is that not everyone is equipped to support you in everything. So that time that you spend nurturing a relationship will really start to help you understand and act in knowledge who is equipped to handle certain things. And let's just park that right there. Let's sit in that for a moment. The concept of acting in knowledge, right? It's a concept that I learned truly when I was married before. And it was a part of our marriage counseling process. And to know your person and to act in understanding. So for example, if you know that their favorite color is purple and there are a plethora of purple options, but you decide to get them green, are you really considering them, or you just got what was quick, fast, in a hurry? It's that the extra layer of consideration. It's also operating in a space of understanding, right? And so if you know maybe how someone might receive it, your approach may be different, handling certain things. And so that's super important when thinking about a support system. Who has the capacity to, and in what ways do you have capacity to act in knowledge in someone else's life? I think our parents have a great opportunity because they've seen a beautiful space from when we were born until now, or if that is your life story, right? And even with friends, there are some people that have many childhood friends, and that's who they maintain in their life, and it becomes very easy when you have a longevity put into it. But don't let just the duration of time be the determining factor either. It also has to be in how you use that time. And so that helps. So active knowledge, how you use the time, and the time just period, really creates a beautiful space to develop a strong support exchange between others. And to that point, now, while support should be balanced, I think there's a way to balance that. Support should be mutual in your support system, but it doesn't have to be the same thing. It can't always be the same thing. Like, for instance, I don't mind talking about the hard things that happen in your life. I don't mind if you start crying. You crying won't make me start crying. But there are friends that I have for sure that, and I don't fault them at all, that if I start crying, they may tell me to stop because they don't have the capacity. And that's okay. That doesn't make me love them less. It just makes me understand what they have the capacity for. There may be a friend who makes significantly more money than, another friend. And I'm talking about friendships right now because that can, I feel like that's a common ground for everybody. Even when we talk about like parent to now adult child relationship, when you start to like have that adult connection and that fun energy, that though they're not your friend, that can, even that safety, that safe space really starts to lay a great foundation for what friendships end up being, even in romantic relationships. I really truly feel like there should be an element of friendship first. Not that you have to be friends first, but like, okay, I'm rambling a little bit, but stick with me on this. So in romantic relationships, there should be an element of friendship first, not that you have to be friends first. Meaning like, you don't have to be like, best friends and then, oh, I think we like each other. That's not what I'm talking about, because I have many thoughts on that. And so no, that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that at the end of the day, like, think about, let's take away the romantic element. Like, if you're in a disagreement, how would I handle this with a friend? That's what I mean. Like, let that be the layer first. Don't take the fun out of it first. So that was just my little tangent there. But at the element, at the base level here is really using friendships as a great framework for how you support others and allow yourself to be supported. And so, to my example before, you can have a great friend who's doing very well successfully, and there may be a friend who's not making as much. They may not be able to do what you can do, and so there shouldn't be there can't be a diminishing of that value, right? But that friend who may not make as much financially may be a great like person to plan things. They may be a great planner. And, the other friend is not so great. And so it's just understanding what the strengths are, what you find valuable, right? What they find valuable, and finding that common ground of like give and take. And I'll give you an example of that, of really like valuing things that is so important in every kind of relationship, but especially in your support systems. Like, you just have to value the people that are there for you. So February 16th, 2025, my grandmother passed away on my mother's side, and we came together as a family, and we knew very early on that there were just going to be certain family members that weren't going to be able to withstand the funeral. They just don't do well at funerals. They don't do well at hospitals, that sort of thing. And that was very much a part of the process when my grandmother passed. And so because we knew that, we didn't hold it against them, but they were able to support with, we have a lot of great grandkids within the family. And so my grandmother's great grandkids. And so they were able to just like act as a childcare or prepare the food for the repast. And that didn't make them any less valuable. It didn't make them any less a part of the grieving process. In fact, I would say it was just as hard as the funeral preparations, because hosting is a very loving experience. Caring for a child is a very loving act. And so to do that in the midst of grieving, I don't take that for granted, being able to have that space. And I don't have kids myself, so I was a part of the childcare, I was a part of the repast, and I had the capacity for the funeral, but that didn't make me any more valuable. I'd also like to call out that it's important to recognize that you may not receive support from where you'd like it, but you've got to appreciate from where you are receiving it. We talked about understanding your support system and how everyone is equipped and is not. The importance of valuing the different elements that are within your support system, right? And that, you may want an element of support from this specific person, but they may not have the capacity, and you could very well right now be receiving it in so many other ways. And so to be sure to zoom out. And in that, like in all of that, is as you're thinking about what your support system looks like, at the crux of that foundation is communication. The best thing to me about having a support system is truly having the space to communicate, to talk, comprehend, hear, listen. That's not just communicating. It's not just. Sometimes you have to receive information, and you have to show that you are receiving and again acting in knowledge and willing to act on that information. So that all of that is encompassed in like healthy, good communication. To be heard is truly one of the things that I feel is the most loving things that you can experience and give to someone. And I am blessed to have like just a small batch of people that like know my deep personal moments, that know my thoughts. It helped me, honestly, when I think about support system, God is at the very top of that, right? And so in building that foundation, right, it just trickled down to the people. And so I can share my jokes, I can share me, I can hold them accountable, I can be held accountable, because there is that safe space and that understanding within our communication that we seek to be good to each other, that we value each other, and we understand each other. The other thing that I would say as a part of my healing journey is that communication absolutely shifted that into such a loving experience for me, because healing is not easy. Healing is not fun. It's not a fun experience. It's a good experience, but it's not always fun. And so as a part of that communicating where you are in life, at times sharing parts of your life, good, bad, and ugly, really allow people to come in and support you in ways that you may not be able to consider when things get heavy, when you're in the thick of it. And truly, I mean that. Like, there were times in my life where I've attempted to heal and do better and all of the things. And I tried to do this in such an isolated, quiet way all the way through. And that just, it kept not working when we think back to patterns. Like, that just was not working for me. And so when you allow those your support system in, the people who are good to you in, and communicate like, hey, things are getting bad, but remember I told you 2 weeks ago I felt like it was going to get bad. It makes it so much more easier of like, oh, yep, we talked about this and we're in there. And I'm not saying that can't happen if you're not telling them, much of your life. That can. But it does make it a little more challenging to really operate in knowledge, right? Operate in a true space of understanding and love when they don't know all the important details to consider. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like, as you're operating in a space of like good communication, like really letting them understand who you are and where you are in life. Not only in like the way you're supported, but communicating allows you to understand where things need to shift between you and another person and how best to do that, even if you just have to talk through it enough times until you land together on a path through. But at the crux of it, at the end of it, and all of it, truly, a healthy support system requires good communication, real conversation, and a willingness to listen and apply based on what you know and what you've heard. We don't always have it all figured out. We don't always have it all to help and resolve and do the things for others that we would love to. But I cherish those who love me enough to express the care and concern enough to be there for me. And they really do their best and are willing to learn how to continue to be there. And truly, if I didn't have examples of good people in my life, I'm not going to say I wouldn't be a good person. But seeing tangible people like that is just so, just gets me going. I love love. I truly do. And seeing like physical representations of that just truly makes life sweeter. And so, look, to boil it all down, love on you, love on them, and support each other as you love on them while they love on you. Okay? Again, reciprocity. Reciprocity is the word for today. It really is. It truly has to be a space. And not everybody has the ability to be that way, but find the good ones and love on them and do life with them. That is all I have today. But remember, this is a conversation. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Mental Moments and Healing Heidi so we can keep this conversation going. Y'all, I love this space. I love talking with y'all. I love sharing with y'all. This episode was more of gem sharing, right? This is more of like understanding like we need each other. We need to be good to each other and understanding the importance in that. So the only thing I have left to leave you with is that I pray what took me 12 steps takes you 3. Keep building a life you will be proud of, no matter how long it takes. Until next time.